Happy New Year, Power Players, and welcome to the T-Shirt Transfer Paper Power Half Hour, brought to you by the many fine folks here at Condes Systems Incorporated. I'm your host, Doug DeWitt. Welcome to the show. Riding shotgun with me, working controls, is my director and my good pal, Rodeo. And in today's episode, which is our brand new episode for the brand new season, we are going to be having fun with Forever Hot Stamp Foil. We think foiling is going to be one of the big trends of 2022, and we're going to go over different techniques today to show you how you can incorporate this process into what you're doing already. Now, of course, brand new season, same old things we got to do. And what's that, Rodeo Bo?
Pay the power bill?
We got to pay the power bill. Okay. First up, I wanted to mention the mini virtual sublimation summit that will be taking place on January 28th, hosted by Cheryl Kuchik at Just My Imagination Designs. Now, Conde will be participating in this event. Our president and CEO, David Gross, will be teaching a class. The multi-talented Sprite Rose Wood will be teaching. We don't know what hair color she'll have, but she will be there. And of course, yours truly giving White Toner 101 lessons at the mini virtual sublimation summit. That's January 28th. Make sure to go to our website and click on the web link. It will bring you to the registration page and also give you a coupon code for registering if you go through Conde. So make sure you check that out. Also wanted to let you know that last month we ran a promotion where orders over $75 got a free art pack. We are still running that promotion. If you are interested in a free art pack for your order of $75 or more, make sure to get in touch with your Condes Systems account manager. Also wanted to remind everyone that orders over $200 get free ground delivery. Some restrictions apply. Make sure you check out the website for details. And as far as checking out the website, we're running a brand new gallery contest that we're calling Winter Wonderland. So take one of our fine sublimatable products, add your best winter theme to it, take a photo of it and submit it through our, showcase gallery. There's a link. Rodeo Bo shaking his head, yeah. And make sure you register your product because prizes range anywhere from $50 to up to $400 in Conde credit. And $400 could buy a lot of stuff. Rodeo Bo is shaking his head again. So make sure you participate. That's our Winter Wonderland Gallery Contest running for the next couple of months. Check it out on our website. And one more power bill that I have to pay on a personal note. No, not promoting a book like I usually do, but over the holiday season, I got married and got married to my #1 fan. So she watches every episode. She never misses. She always tells me how cute I am. So yeah, I married her. Of course I did. So I want to let you know, to my #1 fan, I love you. Thank you for making me a happily married man. So now that we got all the power bills paid, Rodeo Bo, let's jump into it. Let's talk about foil, specifically the Forever Hot Stamp foil that we carry here at Condes Systems. Now, we've got it in a variety of colors. We've got it in a variety of styles. There's what's called weave, prism, holographic, rainbow, carbon fiber, one of my personal favorites, bubbles, in all different styles and colors. At the moment, we're carrying about 24. We plan on bringing in more over the next couple of months because, like I said, we think this is going to be a hot trend, and we think that you need to clue in on how to do it. Now, how exactly does it work? Well, foil sticks to the emulsion of a transfer paper, but in order to do a design, you've got to work with a self-weeding t-shirt transfer paper. And in today's episode, we're going to try 3 different ways. We're going to try with a white toner printer using Forever Low Temp Laser Dark and foil. We're going to employ inkjet sublimation using a Sawgrass SG500 and Forever Sublilite. Now, if you're going to go with the inkjet sublimation route, you have to get an additional product, which they call their finishing foil. We'll cover that a little later, show you how that works. But we're also going to try to use Forever Laser Light and see if we can get foil to stick to it. So we're going to try a few different ways, but as far as the foil is concerned, they normally run about $35 a roll. A roll is approximately 12 inches wide by 39 to 40 feet long. So basically, as many designs as you can decorate with a roll. And what we're going to do is work with, like I said, self-weeding transfer papers, and we're going to use our handy dandy George Knight DK20S heat press to heat set the foil over the emulsion layer. Now the foil should stick to the emulsion of our transfer, but everywhere it comes in direct contact with the garment, it should release away. So this is going to be self-weeding. We're not going to need a pick tool. We're not going to need a cutter to do this. So should be fun. Now, before I get started, I want to talk about how to set up your artwork or your design for working with foil. Now, if you're planning on foiling the entire design, a few things that you should know. One is you only need to come up with a single color design. It doesn't have to be multicolor. Now, when it comes to working with self-weeding transfer papers, they like enough ink or enough toner on the page for them to do their job. You know, in other words, way down with enough ink or toner where the emulsion releases cleanly. So if you're working with an inkjet sublimation system, what I would do is design my artwork in a CMYK color palette. And what you want to do is basically lay down 2 of your 4 primary colors. We used black and cyan because we just happen to have more cyan in the printer than the other colors. But basically black plus 1 other process color should be enough ink on the Forever Sublilite to get it to release clean. Now, if we're working with a color laser copier or we're working with a white toner printer, what we want to operate in is process black. In other words, if we have a CMYK, color palette, we want to lay down 100% cyan, magenta, and yellow to create a process black. If we lay down true black, the toner layer may be too thin, you might run into trouble. We want a nice heavy toner layer. So doing it CMY, what we call process black, is the best way to go. Now, a couple of other accessories that you might need when you're talking about foiling. Like I said, for inkjet sublimation, there is what's called the finishing foil, and we'll demonstrate that. You might also want to have some silicone finishing sheets. We've got the gloss finishing sheet, we've got the matte finishing sheet, so we'll show you different variations on how this is all going to look. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First one we're going to get started with, Rodeo, is we are going to work with the Forever Low Temp Laser Dark and output off of a white toner printer. Now, like I said, if you've got a white toner printer, you basically want to use process black, cyan, magenta, and yellow. When it comes to white, you can turn white off. As a matter of fact, you really don't even need to go through the rip. You can just go straight through the driver. But let me show an example of the shirt we're going to recreate today, Rodeo. Get it over here so that everybody can take a peek. Now, coming up in our hometown of Mobile, Alabama, it's about to be Mardi Gras season. Now, some of you may not know this, but Mobile is actually the birthplace of Mardi Gras. And if you don't believe me, Google it up. It's worth a Google. But you can see the intricate detail in this design. We're going to roll with the Forever Low Temp because I think the Forever Low Temp does the best job of doing those fine line details. So let me go ahead and grab some designs here that I already printed. Now, these designs I printed with the Crio 8432 WDT. And like I said, basically when it comes to the design, we're just using a CMY process black. Okay. Here's an example of the design here. Here's one where I've already done the weed attempt. I'm going to set that aside. But just to show you the step-by-step process of it here, what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to our heat press. I've got it set at 310 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and lock the platen in so I can warm my bottom platen, which is key to getting consistent weeding when we do our A to B transfer. So let me grab one of the B sheets here. Grab the printed A foil sheet. We're going to go to the mirrored reverse side because this is the side with the toner. So we're going to take our printed A foil, we're going to take the emulsion side of the B sheet, we're going to put those two together. I'm going to go ahead and put them on my platen of protective paper. And when it comes to Forever Laser Dark, a few minutes, and then at that point you can remove the film. All right. So let's go ahead and if it's done right, the A foil should just roll right off the shirt. And those are looking pretty good there, Rodeo. So now let's go ahead and foil these up. Like I said, we've already seen the gold, so I'm going to grab another Mardi Gras color. I'm going to grab the purple. Make sure I've got a piece big enough to cover my design, and just simply cut away what I need. Okay, and then let's try the carbon fiber silver. Like I said, I am a big fan of this one in particular. I think it delivers a really cool effect. So again, we'll just cut what we need. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the t-shirt with the exposed design back on the heat press. Make sure to flatten it out as best I can. When it comes to laying the foil over our design, we want the metallic or decorated side up. So in other words, the color of the foil should be staring at us as we lay it on the platen here. Now, according to Forever's instructions, they want you to cover with a sheet of matte silicone, which is what we're going to do here and here. And I'm going to use a protective sheet of butcher paper just to be on the safe side. And we're pressing again. Now, to set the hot stamp foil over the emulsion, I haven't altered my temperature at all. I'm still at 310 degrees for the Forever Laser Dark No Cut. We're going to go the full 30 seconds, and then at that point we're going to remove the shirt from the press, use a sheet of metal to cool down the foil, and then we're just simply going to remove the foil. Should be pretty easy breezy. Okay, there's 30 seconds. Let's see how these turned out, Rodeo. I'm going to remove my protective sheets, set those to the side because I can use them later. Let me go ahead and lay the shirt down here. And I'm going to use this piece of aluminum to rapidly cool the design. I think that should get it. Now at this point, we just want to gently peel away the hot stamp foil. And as you can see, the foil is only going to stick where there is a printed emulsion. Wherever the foil comes in direct contact with the fabric, it doesn't stick. So, no trimming, no weeding. Pretty cool. All right. I'm going to hold these up here so that you can see them. There we go. So there it is in the confetti purple and in the carbon fiber silver. Pretty slick. All right. So we've got one down. We are going to go ahead and adjust for our next attempt, which will be using inkjet sublimation and foil. I'm going to reset my heat press here. Give me a few seconds to do that. Okay, So now the next method that we're going to try is using inkjet sublimation. Now, in order to do it with inkjet sublimation, we need to get the self-weeding inkjet paper for cotton, which is the Forever Sublilite No Cut. Now there is a Sublilite No Cut glitter and there is a Sublidark No Cut glitter, but if you are intending to foil the entire design, the Sublilite will work. Again, when I designed my graphic, I used basically two colors, 100% black and 100% cyan. Now the reason I did that was because I wanted enough ink coverage to make the paper do its magic, so to speak, which is release the emulsion where we have the print. Where there is no print, the emulsion should stay on the sheet. Okay, now what we're going to try to do is replicate this design here, my court jester. Hold that up so that people can get a close-up, so to speak, on how this design should look. Thank you, Rodeo. Now, in preparation for today's show, I went ahead and did a Sublilite transfer onto a shirt already, just so that we had a working example that we could use. But for demo purposes, we're going to try to apply this design, which we printed, what, about, a few minutes before we went on air, Bo? Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to swing the press out, and I'm going to let this shirt hang off for just a smidge. And while this is heating up, I want to check my pressure, because applying the Sublilite No Cut, we basically want a light pressure. So I am going to loosen my pressure about a full revolution turn here. A little bit of resistance in the handle before the handle snaps shut. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try here. This is the Forever Sublilite No Cut. Here's my design. Want to make sure our fabric is as flat as we can get it. Go ahead and place the design where we want it to appear. I'm going to cover with a sheet of protective paper. And when you're applying this, you want to apply at 356 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 seconds with a light pressure. We're going to give the paper about 5 to 10 seconds to cool down, and then we're going to peel away with a steady motion, and hopefully the only emulsion that's supplied is where there is a physical design. So let's go ahead and give this a shot, Rodeo. I think we are close enough. Like I said, 356 degrees, 15 seconds for the application. Now, once we have the design on our garment, what we're going to work with next is the sublimation finishing foil, which is essential in order to get the hot stamp foil to stick to the emulsion. So again, going to give this a little time to cool down. I kind of like to pop the corners just to make sure that there is no excess emulsion sticking. Like so. Now you will see some ink still on the sheet, but you should have your design ready to apply. So what we're going to do now is work with the finishing foil. So let me go ahead and grab that. The finishing foil is sold as a separate item. So like I said, if you're working with inkjet sublimation, you need to make sure that you order this product along with the Sublilite No Cut and your choice of foil. Now, it may be tough for the camera to pick up, but you've got what I'm going to call a glossy side and a frosted side. The frosted side has the emulsion coating, and that's the side we want to use. We want to lay it face down, cover with a protective sheet, and we want to use the same 356 degrees, but this time we're only going to go 10 seconds, and we want to peel away the finishing foil hot. Okay, so let me pay attention to the timer here since we only need to go 10 seconds. That should get it. Remove our protective paper. Peel away the finishing foil. And there will be a little bit of residual ink that comes off on the finishing foil. But if you see that, that's a good sign. That means that basically we now have our finishing foil over the emulsion. And so now it's time to foil this design up. And I think for this one, Rodeo, I'm going to go with the green. This is the confetti green. Looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and cut away what we need. We'll lay down the confetti green, cover with a silicone sheet, cover again with a sheet of butcher paper. Now, when we were applying the Sublimate and the finishing foil to the garment, we were light pressure. To apply the hot stamp foil to our prepped area, we need to go heavy pressure. So I am going to go 2 revolutions tighter than what I had it. If it takes a little bit of effort to lock the heat press in, that should be a good heavy pressure. We're using the same temperature, 356 degrees, but we're going a full 30 seconds. And like I said, basically we're going with a heavy pressure. Now, once we're finished with it, just like the foil for the white toner printers and the Forever Low Temp, we're going to take the t-shirt off, we're going to allow the foil to cool, and then it should just peel right off. There we go. Let me move the shirt over. Hope everyone can see that. Let's take our piece of metal, use our piece of metal to rapidly cool. Like I said, if we were just operating under normal circumstances, we could let it cool on its own. There's no penalty in removing the foil too cold, okay? If we try to remove it while it's still warm, some areas of the foil might want to stick to the carrier sheet and not release to our t-shirt. So you, working at home, always want to err on the side of caution. Us doing a show, we have to work without a net, so let's see how this one turns out, Rodeo. That is slick. Let's go ahead and show everyone. There it is in the confetti green. Kind of looks like Green Goblin there. But now this is our court jester here. Like I said, our Mardi Gras theme. Now, don't forget, we want to cover this design with a silicone sheet and do a finishing press. No matter what technique we do, we always want to do that finishing press with silicone sheet. But we've got one more technique to cover, so we're going to go ahead and get cracking here. I'm going to readjust my pressure again, because the next attempt we're going to use is working with the Forever Laser Light No Cut. Now, the reason I want to try this is because if you have a color laser printer or a color laser copier that is not a white toner system, but you were just interested in doing it with the foil, then in theory, this could work. So basically, Here's my design here. What I did is I used processed black. Again, 100% cyan, 100% magenta, 100% yellow. Okay. Let me grab another t-shirt, Hanes Beefy Tee 100% cotton. Because this is a one-sheet self-weed, we want to go ahead and put our t-shirt down. Make sure we get it on the platen as smooth as we can. Go ahead and give it a pre-press while I check that pressure. I'm hoping this is going to work, Rodeo Bow. We will see. All right, so now we've got a nice smooth area. Let me go ahead and grab my printed sheet of Forever Laser Light No Cut. I'm going to put that design where I want it to appear. And just for fun, Rodeo, I'm going to put a second design underneath it because we're going to do a little experimentation here on the T-shirt transfer paper Power Half Hour. I want to go ahead and cover with a sheet of protective paper. This presses between a range of 325 to 375 Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 seconds. I'm at 356, just like we did with the Forever Sublimate. So what we're going to do here is go about 20 seconds on this application. And like the Sublimate, we want to wait a couple of seconds before we peel. So I guess the trick is, when do you peel these self-weeding single sheets? Well, what I'm looking for is a little bit of tension when I pop these corners here. And once I feel that tension, that lets me know that the emulsion should be sticking. And we can go ahead and remove. Not exactly the cleanest attempt in the world because I was trying to do 2 attempts, but there we've got our design. So now, when I was experimenting with this the other day, when I tried to put the foil directly over the top of the laser light, it wouldn't stick. So I decided to try something, and I'm going to go ahead and try it again. I'm going to use the sublimation finishing foil. Okay, again, we've got our frosted side, which is the coating, and our glossy side. I want to go frosted side down or coating side down, glossy side facing me. And just like with the sublimation aspect of it, we're basically going to hit this for 10 seconds, peel it hot. There we go. So now that I've added a sticky layer to it, let's see if we can get the hot stamp foil to stick to this. Let's do this, Bo. Let's go with the rainbow. Again, we just want to cut off a piece large enough to fit our design. Okay. Cover that area of the design. I'm going to rotate it this way so we get more rainbow effect. Put a piece of silicone over my graphic area. Cover sheet over the top of this just to be safe. And now we want to go the full 30 seconds, 355 degrees Fahrenheit, heavy pressure. Just some things to remember whenever we're doing the weeding step with our self-weeding paper, whether it's the Forever Laser Dark No Cut Low Temp, whether it's the Forever Subla Light, or whether it's the Laser Light. Basically light pressure to do the weeding and apply the design, heavy pressure when we go to apply the foil. Okay. And again, let's try to cool this down using a sheet of aluminum. Now, as far as the foil is concerned, if we let this just kind of open air cool, it'd take about 5 minutes. But hopefully, by using the aluminum to take the heat out, we can get away with showing you this a lot quicker. Okay, Bo, let's see if this worked. Maybe, possibly. Okay, folks, I probably should have let it cool down a little more, but time is running out. We'll keep experimenting. But nevertheless, we did have fun with foil today. There's our Mobile Mardi Gras logo, established 1703. Yes, we do love our beautiful city of Mobile, Alabama. I want to thank you for joining us today and watching this episode of Fun with Foil. Now, as far as the product information is concerned, we do have links to these products and long description on our YouTube channel, which is Conde TV. So if you want more information on these products, you can check it out there. You can also get in contact with your Conde Systems account manager should you have any questions. You can also inbox us, TTPPHH at conde.com. Now, the next episode of the T-shirt Transfer Paper Power Half Hour will be in 2 weeks. Now, that episode should have been a post wrap-up of the Impressions Expo show, which is going on in Long Beach, California. That's January 21st through 23rd. Unfortunately, we will not be attending that show. We were scheduled to appear, but with the latest outbreak of the pandemic and COVID-19, we just thought for the safety of our employees, it would be better to sit this one out. So Long Beach, I'm just going to have to catch you next time. But what I will show you in the next episode is some of the artwork that I designed for the Long Beach show using Forever Low Temp Laser Dark and using our new Laser Imprints Trim-Free IC done with the new Crio printers. And I'll showcase these designs and show you the rip settings that I used to achieve them. And hopefully we might be able to offer some samples that you guys can try, or at least some rip settings that you can use to try these techniques on your own. So make sure to join us in 2 weeks on Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the next episode of the T-shirt Transfer Paper Power Half Hour. Until then, I'm Doug DeWitt, your host. My time is up, and I thank you for yours.